Buckle up, listeners, because we are diving headfirst into current events in Mexico today. We are talking all about President Sheinbaum Pardo's recent press conference.
Yes.
And wow, there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, a lot of information packed in there.
Yeah, so I figured, why don't we just dive right in?
Let's do it.
I think one of the things that caught my eye right away was this phrase, saldo blanco,
Okay.
which I found out means white balance. And it was how they described Hurricane Milton's close call with the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah. Interesting way to put it.
I know, right?
Powerful imagery, for sure.
It is.
And it really speaks to their disaster preparedness because the Yucatan governor actually joined the press conference remotely
Yeah.
to give an update. And despite that hurricane's force, no reported fatalities.
No fatalities.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It is pretty amazing.
Especially for a hurricane.
Right.
Like, that's not a walk in the park.
No, it's not.
So what was it that made their evacuation so effective?
I think it's really a testament to that community aspect.
Mm-hmm.
The governor really emphasized how everyone pulled together.
Yeah.
They followed the evacuation orders. They were looking out for their neighbors.
Wow.
It speaks to a level of trust and responsibility you don't always see.
It really does make you wonder, like, how other regions, even those outside of hurricane zones, could learn from this.
Absolutely.
This model of community-based disaster response.
Yeah, there's a powerful lesson there
Yeah.
about clear communication,
Mm-hmm.
proactive planning, and fostering a sense of shared responsibility.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so from weathering literal storms to navigating national security,
Right.
Sheinbaum Pardo did not shy away from some of the tougher topics.
No, not at all. In fact, she unveiled a brand new national security strategy,
Oh, wow.
outlining 4 key pillars that really underpin her entire approach.
And you know what I thought was really interesting is that the first pillar of this new strategy, it's all about addressing the root causes of insecurity. Not just like throwing more money at the military or building walls or anything like that.
Right. It's a very different approach.
Yeah.
It's recognizing that things like poverty and inequality,
Yeah.
lack of opportunity, those are major factors that can push young people towards crime.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
If you don't have other options,
Absolutely.
you're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to see how somebody might be drawn into those situations.
For sure.
But how do you address those root causes?
Well, it's a huge undertaking.
Yeah, it feels massive.
It's multifaceted, for sure.
Yeah.
We're talking about investing in education,
Okay.
creating economic opportunities,
Right.
strengthening social safety nets. It's a big job.
Yeah.
But it's about breaking those cycles of poverty and despair
Right.
that often leave communities vulnerable.
Okay, so that's tackling the root causes.
Mm-hmm.
What about like the more immediate security concerns?
Okay, good.
Because that's where that second pillar comes in, right?
Yeah, consolidation of the National Guard.
Okay, so tell me a little more about that because I feel like that's one that could go either way.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit more controversial.
Yeah.
It essentially means that the National Guard is now officially under military control.
I was wondering if it was something like that.
Yeah, and I can see how that could raise some eyebrows.
For sure.
There are valid concerns about human rights and making sure that the military isn't too involved in civilian life.
Right, of course.
But Sheinbaum Pardo did address those concerns.
Okay, good.
She emphasized the importance of training and having really clear mandates
Very good.
and strong accountability mechanisms.
So it's kind of walking that line.
It is a delicate balance, for sure,
Yeah.
ensuring security without compromising civil liberties.
All right, so on to pillar number 3.
Okay.
This one sounds like it's straight out of a spy movie.
Oh, yeah.
Strengthening intelligence and investigation.
Okay.
What is that like? Secret agents and high-tech surveillance?
Not quite,
Okay.
although data analysis is a big part of it. It's really about using technology to understand those crime patterns,
Okay.
identify emerging threats, and respond proactively.
So it's about sort of working smarter, not harder
Exactly.
when it comes to security. I like that.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the final pillar.
Okay.
And it's one that I feel like we hear a lot.
Yeah.
Coordination is key.
It seems simple,
Right? It goes.
but it's often overlooked.
Right.
Effective security requires collaboration between agencies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Federal, state, and local Ds. Everybody needs to be on the same page.
It's like that old saying, there's no I in teen.
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of teamwork, Sheinbaum Pardo actually highlighted an upcoming trip
Oh,
to
yeah.
Culiacan, Sinaloa, where I guess they'll be meeting with the governor to discuss these coordinated security efforts.
That's right, and that's interesting because Culiacan,
Yeah.
it's not the only place that was mentioned.
Right. Guanajuato came up a few times.
Yeah.
What is it about those regions?
They're kind of a microcosm, you could say, of the bigger challenges that Mexico is facing.
Okay.
They exemplify that really complex tapestry.
Okay. I'm interested. Tell me more. So let's start with Sinaloa.
Okay.
Obviously, it's been a focal point for drug-related violence for years,
Right.
but it feels like there's something more there.
Yeah, it's not just about the cartels themselves.
Right.
It's about the impact on the people,
Right.
the families, the communities.
Yeah, it's easy to forget about the human cost
Absolutely.
when you're just reading headlines.
Exactly. And I think that's what's so important
Huh.
about Sheinbaum Pardo's focus on collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
She's not just talking about sending in the military.
Right.
She's talking about working with local authorities,
Yeah.
community leaders, even former cartel members,
Really?
in some cases trying to build peace from the ground up.
Wow, that's a different approach.
It is.
Okay, so then what about Guanajuato?
Okay.
Because that one surprised me.
Yeah, it's not usually grouped with Sinaloa.
Right. But it sounds like it's facing its own set of really serious challenges.
It is a very different set of challenges.
Yeah.
But just as serious.
Okay.
In fact, Guanajuato currently has the highest homicide rate in all of Mexico.
Wow. I did not realize that.
Yeah, it's a really startling statistic.
What is fueling that?
It's complex,
Yeah.
but a lot of it stems from the economy.
Okay.
Guanajuato is a big manufacturing hub.
Okay.
Lots of factories, cars, electronics.
Right.
But lately they've been hit hard by the economy.
Oh, okay.
Factory closures, layoffs, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that creates instability.
Right.
People are desperate.
Yeah, it's like a recipe for disaster.
It's a very real example of how these things are all connected.
Right. It's not just about security. It's
Exactly.
about opportunity and
It's about social justice.
yeah. And ultimately that seems to be what Sheinbaum Pardo is getting at
Right.
with this idea of humanismo mexicano.
It's about recognizing the inherent dignity of every person and creating a society where everyone has a chance to thrive.
It's a powerful idea.
It is, and it's a challenging one.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it requires a real shift in thinking,
It does.
moving away from just reacting to problems
Right.
and towards actually preventing them.
Well, listeners, I don't know about you, but I am officially full.
Lots to think about.
We covered hurricanes, national security strategies,
Sinaloa, Guanajuato,
even explored the concept of humanismo mexicano.
all in a day's work.
Right.
That's the beauty of a good deep dive.
It is. And as always, it leaves us with even more to explore.
Always more to learn.
So until next time, keep those questions coming and stay curious.